DreamHack Open is brought to you by Astro, Monster Energy, Corsair, Hacks, and GGBet.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell, rock. Something about getting away from the rocks on the beach here in Jönköping. Now, with that said, in Germany, they call Santa Kris Kringle. In Italy, they call him Le Befana. In France, they call him Pierre Noël. And me, in Southern Alabama, well, I call him Jolly Old Saint Nick. And you could call me Stunna. And welcome back to the DreamHack winner. The DreamHack Open, where in which upsets are realities, and in fact, miracles do exist. Much like that of Bravado, much like that of a Galaxy. And we're gonna continue on this path, and I gotta do that with my lovely elves. We've got elf number 1 here, and elf number 2, Bleh and Pimp, respectively. Welcome back, gentlemen.
An elf named Pimp, that's pretty cool.
Ironic, to say the least.
Are you done with the voice?
Yeah, we're back now.
Cool. All right then.
I had to hold my breath.
I like it. I mean, you're really selling it good.
You're pretty good at this.
I'm
saying.
Yeah. Practicing.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting ready. I do this kind of thing in the off season where like more activated about Christmas.
You one of those guys who sit and pretends to be Santa Claus, during the Christmas malls and stuff?
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah. Do you sit on the lap, or do you let kids sit on your laps?
That's not anywhere remote. We're not going anywhere around that one. In fact, where we are going to go is to the groups. Let's take a look right now to see how we got in this ridiculous situation that has been DreamHack Open so far. My goodness, that's right. G2 in the lower bracket, OpTic and ENCE are right there with them. My God, what is going on?
It doesn't make any sense, does it? We are going to have one of either OpTic, ENCE, and G2 into the semifinal, and the 2 others are going to go out of the tournament. Highly unexpected. I would say the G2, maybe, it makes sense that they're down there, but OpTic and ENCE being one of the first teams to go out of the tournament is definitely unexpected.
Yeah, it's been a tournament of upsets. Not just upsets, right? Like, it's been some pretty convincing wins as well, and it's not like they just won one best of one and made it way through. Like Bravado really, they put in the work, it showed, they had the confidence as well, pretty close wins, and it's kind of interesting. We saw G2 actually playing better than LDLC, for example, which no one really saw coming. KennyS was looking pretty pumped up, although they lost the second game. I think they're going to be, no matter who wins here, either ENCE or OpTic, they're going to have a tough time against G2 as well. So it's going to be, it makes things interesting, man. Like, it's fun. It's a DreamHack Open. You want to see these underdog teams really shine, really come on through, and I think we're seeing it here.
Well, I think you can actually shine, or better yet, you can shine. Jacob, I think it's time for you to actually put some reasons on the board. Perhaps you have 3 of them, and even more than that, maybe they're brought to you by Hacks GG.
I got 3 reasons why this is a do-or-die situation for OpTic. I think we're at a point where it cannot keep going on any longer. Like, we cannot have OpTic not being better than they are. The first team, and the first reason for that is that this was a team that was built to win. Back when OpTic were made, there was, the shambles of Config and Cajun being kicked from North back in the days, and they found, together with Snappy and Nico, they were bought in for like high price and was wasted a lot of money from OpTic in that regard. So this is a team that was assembled, and this was a team that was built to win, and they were built to win and challenge North for being the 2nd best Danish team. We haven't really seen that at all from this OpTic lineup. It's been rather unimpressive for the majority of the time. They've had a few glimpses here and there of decent showings, but overall it hasn't been good enough, and that's why this is a do-or-die situation. They cannot afford not to go through in this tournament. Second reason is they're wasting a lot of potential, not only as a team, but also as the individual players right now. Because when you look at it, you have a guy like Cajun B, who currently is the best player on the team and has been one of the best players in Denmark for quite some time, an international star player, I would even go as far as saying. He was playing back in the days with Astralis, and he was a very dominant player and has a lot of skill within the game. You have a guy like Config, who's arguably one of the best riflers in the world when he's in shape, and right now he's wasting his potential, losing a lot of games. He should be winning. And then you have Yugi, who is potentially and could be one of the best AVP players in the world if he finds out a way to make it all work again. He was half a year ago, when he was playing in Heroic, by many raters as the next big upcoming AVP star. No longer now, though. He's wasting his potential in OpTic as well. So there's a lot of wasted potential individually on this team right now, and they need to make it work so they can like flourish that potential and flourish that skill that they have. The third reason is that they have to win this game. If they do not win this game, I expect them to change something. Whatever that is, a new in-game leader, whatever that's a new rifle player, a new AVP player, or a new coach for that matter, I don't know. I don't have the answers myself. I just know that they can't keep on going like this. Way too much money and way too much pressure is being put on these OpTic guys, and if they cannot deliver, and if they bomb out of a DreamHack Open on the last place, that's going to be it for this team. They have to change, and it has to be now.
Wow.
Oof.
It seemed like, do you feel better after you said all that?
I'm just tired of seeing Danish teams sucks, you know. It's such a, to me, it's annoying because, as I said, you know, there's so much potential on the team. There's so many great players and so many potential star players and so many great playmakers on the team. They just can't make it work right now. Whatever it's motivational issues, whatever it's like internally in the team, they just don't play off each other. I don't really know. It's hard to put a finger on, but looking from the outside, this team should be way better than they're performing right now.
And that's just simply not what we're seeing, or not what they're displaying. But what we can start to display and start to look at are the map vetoes. Again, I've told you several times, I'll tell you again, it's a best of 3. And already OpTic have seen themselves play Dust 2 against a Bravado and be upset, albeit 16-14. An L is an L. So.
Yeah. This is interesting, right? Because OpTic and ENCE actually have some similarities in their map ban process. Cash is a permaban for both the teams, but the one time OpTic's like, you know what, we're not going to ban it. You guys are going to ban it. And it's like, you know what, we'll pick it. And they picked it, and they beat them. So it's going to be a game of who blinks first. But I think it's going to go down this way, right? I think ENCE are going to be going for their usual. I think they're going to ban out Inferno. Not because they don't play that map, but it's good. OpTic is pretty good on that. I think they're going to ban out Inferno. I think OpTic's going to ban Cash, and they're going to play chicken with that one. And then it's going to be some default picks. I think it's going to be Train coming in from ENCE. It's going to be Nuke pick coming in from OpTic. And the decider, I think, is going to be Mirage, which both the teams are kind of okay, pretty comfortable on. It's a map they don't touch. They don't really ban it. They don't really pick it. You just let it through. So it's going to be interesting selection of maps here.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They do have some similarities in the map pool, as you're saying, and I think if your scenario is going to play out, it's going to be a great series, because those 3 maps would be, you know, great entertainment for both teams. Yep. We see the cash ban coming out of OpTic. They're not willing to risk anything right there. Makes sense. The Inferno pick or the Inferno ban from ENCE also makes sense, you know, and now onto the picking pace. I think you're right about your thesis. I think it's going to go down that road, and I think if it goes that, it's going to be a great game, because it's going to be 3 very intense maps.
Yeah, Nuke, Train, Mirage, all 3 maps that all these both the teams are pretty comfortable on as well. Now, I could be wrong. I mean, they still haven't shown the picks yet, but I think it's going to be Nuke, it's going to be Train, and I'm very sure the final map's going to be Mirage. It's going to be a barn burner here, and it just might be the game of the day.
Hopefully. I mean, the game of the day now. Let's not sell it too much, but it's definitely one with implications, because both of these teams don't want to see themselves go out in last place here.
A little bit of a twist there. A Dust 2 coming in, which is interesting.
So Nuke, Train, D2, that's where we're going, and I asked for a little bit of Dust 2 for Christmas, and it seems like that's what they're going to give you. A little bit of that. But
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Damn. Still going to go all the way there?
No.
All right.
Well, let's start looking at that vision. Let's start taking a look at OpTic. It is on the stage. They are, I should say, building a little bit of a wall in green, festively enough. For this time of year, Cajun B, Yugi, Snappy Config, and Mr. Nico.
Feels like a wall that was never built, that was supposed to be built, but never really got to be built. And it reminds me of something else, Trace, but let's not go in there.
Yeah, they're going to build a wall, and you're going to pay for it, Pimp.
Yeah, sure thing. That's how it works these days, isn't it? This is a team, you know, of star players. You have Cajun, you have Yugi, you have Snappy, Config, and Nico. Nico being brought into this team again after being a short stay in North. That didn't work out too well. He was not necessarily bad playing in North, and they actually went on to win an event as well at the DreamHack Masters Stockholm. But he was no longer wanted on the North lineup. He was being replaced by Gate, and he went back to OpTic. A move that I think both teams were quite happy about. He's sort of like the players that you don't speak too much about on a team like OpTic, because he's just like this. How do you describe him? He's a utility player. He's just wherever you want him to be, and you tell him to go do something, he will do it to his best abilities without complaining, without having any egotistical thought process, and that's sometimes what you need as a team. So I don't think Nico is the guy to blame from this team. The man on your screen right here, though, could be blamed a little bit for not being better. I think this is a dude who has the potential to be one of the best players in the world when he gets his shit together. Right now, it's just not coming together for him. He's not playing up to the level he should be, and he hasn't been doing that for quite some time. I don't know what it is. I don't know, like, if it's the team chemistry, if it's something personal in his life, if it's motivational issues, or whatever it may be, but it's simply not like happening for him right now. Whereas the guy on the screen right here, Config, again, maybe to be blamed a little bit. I think he should be better than he is right now, but it comes down to the fact that they're not working together as a team, and I think that's the biggest problem for OpTic right now.
Yeah, the thing with this team in particular would be also the fact that when KGB is the best rated player in the past 3 or 4 months on LAN, something's a problem. Like, nothing against him, like he's really putting in the work, but the rest of the team, you have all these stars like you mentioned, like Config, like Snappy, like Yugi, they should be really stepping up and really haven't done it. But to be honest though, it's been 2 months since Nico joined the team. It's been exactly 2 months and I think 2 days right now. They've had like 2 events, right? They've had Summit and they've had Star Ladder Season 6, right?
Yeah.
Now, the result, if it was any other team getting 2nd place at Summit and getting 3rd, 4th position Star Ladder, I think most teams would be pretty happy with that. But like you mentioned, it is OpTic. You look at the name here, you look at the brand, you look at the way this team's been built up to be world beaters. A third place or a 2nd place is not good enough. And especially an event like Open, they need to really make this work here.
Yeah, you want to talk about world leaders. How about we talk about some world beaters? These guys certainly have their backs against the wall right now, but they're not finished at all. In fact, the Finns are here and they're ready to get it done. It's going to be X7, Ariel, Alexi B, Alu, and Sergey. Now, they do have a little bit of veterancy here with Alu, but overall, this team has come together quite well. They've made a stand for themselves starting around Cologne, and then you start to fast forward, they win a Star Series. Now, they're in an elimination game against OpTic.
Yeah, the thing with ENCE would be obviously the Star Ladder win was massive for them, right, for ENCE, and they're an interesting team. Like, when they're winning things, they look very, very confident indeed, but at the same time, like yesterday, for example, they look very shaky. That's the problem. They cannot close games out, and they always struggle with that, right? Now, it could be due to various reasons, like you have this young lad on the screen here. I mean, he is, you know, one of the finds of the year, in my opinion, right? Like a potential Finnish superstar, but they are also young. And they've been putting in a lot of hours and everything. And here's the thing, Alu has not just been like the spiritual leader of the team, he's also been their hard carry, I would say. He's been fragging out of his mind, even yesterday in that game, where they had a massive lead until it kind of slipped away from their hands. He was the guy who's, you know, winning clutches here and there. They have everything going for them, you know. They have a pretty good org, they have the practice regimen right, they're winning events as well, but at the same time, you know, to be in an elimination game here on day 2 in DreamHack Open is what they would find themselves in. But I think, all things considered, I think the pressure is not as bad for them as it would be for OpTic, right?
I think you're right, and I think they're a little bit hard done by the fact that they played G2 in a best-of-1 on Dust 2 yesterday. It was, as you said, a very close game. They were leading 11-4, so had it just closed that one out, we would be speaking about ENCE right now as potentially one of the favorites to win the tournament, which we're not, because they did lose against G2 yesterday. But that's what I want to see here in this game. I want to see whatever ENCE is actually just coming out, you know, having a little bit of a rough start in a best-of-1, you know, that first game syndrome, or whatever there is some problems happening, or some you know, outliers within this team. I think, and I expect ENCE to be way, way better playing today than they were yesterday.
Well, head-to-head, we've got depth, and if I say Cajun, you say... B. Yeah, boom,
Wait,
just like that. Look at him, boys. I don't know why Depp is here, but in fact, he is going to be in our head-to-head. So now you have to make a case for it. Curveball.
So this is pretty much assuming OpTic. I think it's a head-to-head from the future, assuming OpTic win this matchup.
Yeah.
It happens, but it's not the end of the world. Either way, we could begin to talk a little bit about, I guess, when these two go pound for pound, who's got the worst end of the stick? Because, like, it seems like, yes, this isn't necessarily where we would have put ENCE. Not in that they're the greatest team on earth, but they certainly have showed they belong. Wow, they belong in the main stage. But OpTic is a flailing fish in the water.
They are. I think OpTic is a team right now that have to show the world what they got. You know, if you want to vote for OpTic, you can go !OG, and if you want to vote for ENCE, you can go !ENCE, and not to be mistaken by easy for ENCE, because this is by no means going to be easy for ENCE. I think this is going to be a brawl of a fight. I think this is going to be OpTic, you know, trying the absolute best to get something out of this tournament, get something out of this year, and maybe give Hector and OpTic a reason to keep them for the next year. If not so, if ENCE is going to win this game, if they're going to do that convincingly, I think this would be it for OpTic. I think they have to change something. So they're really playing with backs against their wall streets.
Okay, you're not wrong, but we don't know for sure. So you said it's going to be close. You've made a good point for that. Now you've got to make a point to where you're going to be putting your chips.
I think ENCE is going to win this one. I think they're just simply the better team. I think the construction of the team, when you look at the roles and how they each perform in each their role, and especially considering the Star Series win, look really, really solid. I think ENCE have what it takes to win a best-of-3 series against a lackluster OpTic right now. I do expect it to go close on both maps. I think it's going to be 2-0 for ENCE. Potentially a Dust 2 comes out. Doubt it, but even if it does, ENCE will be the winner of this game.
All right, I Actually, I would agree with most of it. But I'm going to go with ENCE, but I do believe it will actually go down to Dust 2. Because I'm not very convinced with ENCE's Nuke. It's pretty decent, it's okay. But I think OpTic would have done their homework. Like I said, when all the pressure is on, it just might click. They just might come firing all cylinders. But for OpTic to win, it has to be 2-0 in their favor, I feel like. I don't think they can, make it a 2. I don't think they can win if it goes to map number 3. But yeah, I'm going to side with ENCE here, Trace. And I think I'm just going to put it to 2-1.
Okay. It's pretty self-sustaining, I guess, in your guess. At least that way you have that one cushion. I like that. But in fact, I did leave milk and cookies out. They're still sitting there, so sucks for you, Santa. They're going to be pretty stale by the time you come around. That milk, probably real sour, too. Not going to be as sour as the OpTic fans when I pull for ENCE here. It's going to be easy for them. I think it's going to be a 2-0. At least that's what I believe, and, well, I hope you can believe along with me. Twitch chat, let's take a look at what you thought. In fact, I asked you to vote, or Pimp did, rather, this time around. And we're going to see that you also felt like ENCE is going to have it easy for them. And I guess with that, we can start to bring in our commentators and go ahead and get right into this game, this best of 3 in elimination game. We do have Hugo and Risk. Guys, how's it going?
It's going great, Trace. Great as always. I mean, I'm excited for this game. Game of the day, Risk.
Yeah, potentially. I'm really looking forward to see what OpTic can bring to the table. As Pimp said on the desk, he's completely spot on. They need to get something going right now. If not, then I'm not going to be the one to call a transfer or anything, but like something needs to change on that team because they have so much potential and none of it is being realized currently. And I don't have the answer on why it's not being realized, but it's definitely not working out.
You've got to remember as well, Frags has recently left their org. There are some free players floating around the market. That's all I'm saying.
You never know, Hugo.
You never know.
But let's be real. Let's be real. All 5 of these players on this team, very good individually.
That's the thing.
I just don't understand why it's not working.
Like, that's the problem. It's like, who do you remove? Because when you know the skill ceiling of the players, it's very hard to go, let's get rid of Yugi because he's not performing. You know he can perform. It's just annoying that he's not reaching his skill ceiling right now, not climbing to his peak.
And to be honest, I felt like when they switched Nico in, that was the perfect change because they needed a guy who could be the utility player, who could be the fun guy in the team to kind of like raise the spirits and everything, and also play the positions that no one wants to play. They needed that one guy because if else, they're going to be 5-star players and everyone wants a good position, everyone wants to go in and frag. Now they have Nico for that, and that should have been what took them over the edge. It hasn't happened yet, but then again, like as they said on the desk, it's not like they've been performing terribly apart from this one best of one we've seen so far, where they lost to Bravado this event. Like the finish over at Summit. They also had the tournament down in Star Series. Like it's fine, but it's not where they want to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's been ups and downs for ENCE, right? Obviously, Star Series was fantastic, but I just remember, right after that event, they definitely had a bit of a down period, a bit of a fall-off. So I hope that this is an event they can step back up to their skill ceiling. Obviously, that game yesterday versus G2 was a bit of a mess, unfortunately, but here they are fighting for elimination, fighting for their tournament lives, and up against some of the biggest names in Denmark. It's not an easy game for either roster here, but that being said, it's an open season. Either team could come away with a victory here, and it's crazy to think in a group with G2, Bravado, ENCE, OpTic, one of these 2 teams is going home. But ladies and gentlemen, no more waiting around. We are heading into this one. It's OpTic's map pick. It is Nuke, and it's an elimination on the line.
Such a good match, such a potential for a close match as well. But we have to remember, ENCE are pretty good on it. Usually, like, Nuke is DE Denmark, basically. But ENCE are really good on this as well.
Oh, but there's no one on A right now. And look at the pace that OpTic have set. They've just run straight into the empty bomb site. Now, Nuke is not a map known for its retaking setup, so this is going to be a bit of a problem for ENCE. But they do have that fast lobby flank and already a 1-for-1 trade going there. Alexa B needs to find something from this above position. And although he gets information on some of the whereabouts, OpTic are crunching the lobby. They're getting aggressive. They're bringing the fights to ENCE. It's still traded down to a 2-on-3, but X7 won't check the corner and he gets caught out. OpTic find their pistol.
And that's the kind of momentum they need to bring into this game because, like, as we've seen so far, like, they're not going to find the momentum on themselves. It's not something that they can just, like, generate out of pure tactics or just playing together as a team. They need to step up individually and get that just ride going, and that's what they get right now with the pistol round. They get the 3 AK setups with decent utility on the two other players, which is of course Nico and Snappy, as one would expect with Yugi, Config, and Chain to be on the team. That's exactly the setup as it should be. Full eco for the sneaky side. As you would expect, we're going to see the buy next round coming in. It's going to be missing a couple of flashbangs or maybe even a kit. It's going to be interesting to see how that one pans out, but this one should be fairly one-sided.
You'd like to think so. With full USPs, the expectations
I would be
are
very
extremely
surprised.
Although, think back to LDLC existed.
Yeah, but
they won this round.
Yeah, but that was a P250 and a flashbang. You know, that's a big difference. You know?
Well, either way, just to push the lobby, push to their death, Aerial finds one. Otherwise, it's pretty unsuccessful, as you would expect. 2-0 for OpTic, but this is where we've been waiting for the guns for ENCE, and they're going to certainly have the money to do so as well.
They could go for a glass cannon on Alu. I saw one player at least with 4750. But that would mean that they would have to have two weapons.
It's not Alu, it's X7, so they're not going to run it. He would have to drop it over, and he doesn't want to be an armless M4. That's not exactly
but this is
a good plan.
as I said before, like the money in the current meta, when you have that straight save after losing the pistol, you're not going to be able to afford more than one kit at max. You're not going to be able to afford any of these utility, any of the Molotovs you want on the CT start that can really hold people back on Nuke. If you want to go for a smoke, you can't get double flashbang. There's a lot of limits to the utility in this specific buy, and OpTic on the other side of things, they have everything they want to their disposal. They're running a quick inside play.
Oh, and LXCB, he's only going to get 1-for-1 there. The SMG coming out on top for Snappy. Sergey sat at the back of the site, but he's not going to be met with them. It will instead be Aerial as they drop to their death down in the vents. They went for the early outside smoke, so Aerial's still aware of the possibility of a secret wrap, but there's no one in the yard right now. They're creeping to their death on A. Sergey still putting up the kills, and Alu top of the site, top of the round. They are going to be picking up their first buy. ENCE going forward with a 2-1.
That's the problem right there, because what they wanted, like they got the 1-for-1 trade to begin with, they got the map control, and then they drop into vent. And this guy, Aerial, is allowed to get 2 frags straight up. It's not even headshot kills. He's allowed to spray away and they can't answer.
The crazy thing about that is OpTic were going for that vent dive because they threw the outside smoke. They were imagining any secret player would be dedicated to watching the secret push, but instead, Aerial watching vents regardless. Like, that's a big brain play for Aerial. Yep. OpTic faked it. They still walked to their death.
But still, 2 players jumping down into that position should be able to trade 1-for-1. Like, there should be like a retake or a refrag potential in that situation. Like, Sbi getting pressured heavily. Puts down the Molotov, they're going to run through. He has the potential of spraying, but he only gets 1. So now it's 4v3. Make that 4v2. As Alu's taken out and a turnaround. Yugi only with the MP5. And a scrappy buy, utility-wise, missing here and there, but it doesn't matter if you can find the frags.
Yeah, Config hitting some shots this round. It was the fast secret play from 3 players of OpTic, but we had a double main push, and that ended up with these players wrapping outside, not allowing ENCE to push back down through secret on this hot flank, and X7 is all that stands between OpTic and not only a 3rd round, but also a reset with that. They do line up, and although he doesn't get the kill, he gets the information. I don't know if they spotted him there. One player's coming right back out, and he's going back turned, and yeah, I think they're more than aware. Now they're going to know. And Nico's going to find that frag to finish things off. It will be OpTic finding the reset. So ENCE's money broken very early on into this game. Considering OpTic a T-side nuke, this is going to let them get off to a bit of a bounding start.
And interesting enough, actually, OpTic, as most of the teams on this map, had their strong side on obviously the CT side, but ENCE actually win most of the rounds on the T side. 53.5% on that T side, which is very unnatural compared to the rest of the meta currently. So that could be a good sign, even though it's not working out to begin with. They still know that they have a strong T side behind them. Something that, let's say, like for example, LDLC lacked in that last game we saw. That's what they have on ENCE.
Well, one of the big issues is that this is at least a good map for OpTic. This is not really one of the top dogs for ENCE. I mean, yeah, they play it, but it's their 3rd least played.
It's kind of like, they're not bad on it, but it's not their first pick.
It wouldn't be a pick. No.
Yeah.
And that's why I think, even if you do think ENCE is going to win this game, I don't think it's going to be a 2-mapper. This is going to be a very difficult one for them, especially on Nuke and OpTic. They're looking good to start things off. We've got the individuals shining through. We've got people hitting their shots. Yep. But we've only had 1 buy round. Here's where the second comes through. ENCE.
Actually, yeah. ENCE was 7-2 on this map currently with the lineup. And they actually beat OpTic on it 16-11 on the Chicago qualifier.
Well, maybe
there's a chance. There's a chance. But yeah, once again, like, the argument with OpTic is like, if they can keep it going, if they can get some momentum going, if the players can hit their shots, then to be honest, like, OpTic, they're so stacked individually that statistics don't even matter. Like, strategy almost doesn't matter. If you have Config who's hitting his shots, if you have a Yugi who's hitting his shots, Cajun B as the 3rd star, then like you should be able to run over most teams in this world.
Yeah. That's been the story of OpTic, but not quite the reality.
Exactly. That's what they want and what they think they can do, but it's been far from the actual like outcome. Because they haven't stepped up individually, but it looks like they're trying to now. It's a good start, nonetheless.
Yeah, 4-1, but this is where ENCE are trying to break back. We've got Yugi shooting windowless windows. Is it still a window if there's no glass? That's the question. Or is it just a hole in the wall? Who knows? There's a Molotov in it now, and that's going to force Sergey off of this roof. He's going to drop on in. He's taking so much damage. But already, Alexei B's pushed in by the smoke, and Snappy runs through it through Squeaky, and he's going to run to his death. Yugi's now all that remains, and they should know that he's on T-roof due to those early Molotov thrown off the top. So they can kind of guess exactly where he'll be, but it doesn't really matter considering the bomb is under the control of the Finns.
Nice idea by OpTic, and the Molotov really like the usage because a lot of teams actually have one playing on top of that hut. Yugi surely, no way that he can win this. Has a lot of money, so they can definitely still buy.
No time. I mean, it's 10 seconds left. They already know where he is. He's trying to save in the CT spawn.
It's not possible. They would have to like literally run at him. And all lineups.
Well, they save the AWP. They bring that forward to another round, which is always nice to see. Not something you would have wanted to give away to Yugi for free. He's going to be still equipped in the M4.
But actually, on Nuke on the T side, he's not using the AWP so much because obviously it's very hard to find any angle to use it with. You have to basically go outside.
That looked like OpTic wanted to vent dive in that round. They were breaking the vents and running for it. The Molotov to force a player off of the top of the hut, you know, would also give them way more room to move into that vent without being shot from above, but it's not going to happen.
Look at this from Yugi. He's taking position in the door. One of the basically two positions that you can take unless you want to challenge ramp, and ramp is not smoked by the CT side, but door exploded and he's holding this angle. And as any smart CT team, if you know there's a possibility of an AWP holding that angle, you're just not going to peek it. You're just going to hold far back positions, let them take the T vent, just hold the smoke. Cajun B is going to dive in, they hear this. What's the reaction from ENCE? Are they going to switch it up or are they just going to stay in their positions?
See, it's very hard to tell right now if ENCE even have a player down B.
Going back to lineup smokes outside.
Can use this position to get more players down secret the safe way, and that is the yard, as you say. There's an AWP here for Alu and still that rifle of aerial in main, but with the smokes down, that's going to elude Alu, cut off his vision, his line of sight going to be gone, and so OpTic are able to sneak down. And because they've thrown this a couple of times before, but not actually gone behind it, this is conditioning ENCE to not actually know if this is that B play. They should somewhat expect it with Cajun B making a lot of noise down here, and here's where the rotate comes in through ramp. They push lobby, they get the information, it's clear. Now it's the heavy rotate, so ENCE, they're fully aware. It's just a question of, do they know how deep Cajun B has gotten? Now they should. They see the door open. 30 seconds left for OpTic. The Molotov's going to be an issue for Alu. Alexei B trying to hold the line. X7 moves in for one, but there's the trades and there's the burst. Nico with a massive entry to pull them back in the advantage. Alu does his best to protect from the back of ramp, and Sergey's joining him side by side, but that bomb part's still coming through and there's nothing ENCE can do about it.
Have to push aggressively. It's going to be Sergey taking down Nico, low HP 2v2.
They're doubled up. They're side by side. There's low HP on enough players here that this is winnable for either team.
Snappy with the AWP because he's on low HP, as you would expect, but Alu with the shot, and Yugi with the AK-47, 2 kills already to his name. Might have a chance of going for this clutch. Can't find the bomb, Alu. He has the kit. This is the time for Yugi to open. He's sticking it. He's sticking it. He's got it. Yugi, too slow to react, and Alu will stick the bomb.
Well, that was his only option there. Massive play by Alu, but yeah, Yugi's not expecting the full defuse, especially after not only opening the door, but also shooting right after. A bait shot. 9 times out of 10, that player is going to get off the bomb because they're hearing 2 audio cues that suggest Yugi's about to peek, but Alu, I mean, balls of steel, cold killer.
You would expect it.
Yeah, if any man was going to stick that bomb, it would be a Finn. Absolutely not phased by OpTic, and now Alu back in the driving seat in the yard. It's a fast outside play for OpTic.
That was the next level pun right there.
Thank you. Next to be... Oh, goodbye.
Nate trades a bit of damage, but that was just beastly from Config. Once again, they have the control over window position. X7 is rotating back and forth, has to trade at least 1-for-1 and buy some time. He does. More time, actually 2 kills. X7 is still alive. Rotation has come in, or is close that ramp, but he's still not dead. He's buying so much time downstairs. Yugi just now getting into the window position. The bomb has been dropped. Alu looking to make a play once again. 3v2, 1-man advantage for ENCE. With a 2v2, but a trade quickly, and now Yugi has to be the man of the hour again.
Yeah, the clutch once more for this young Danish player. Alu's coming in from above, and oh, he misses a shot, pistol out, he's got a spam. And luckily enough, his teammate was there to get further damage. They will be able to pick up the round as shaky as it gets. Fantastic work from X7, right? We see him get that first kill, and he's aware that not only could he get repeat from window, but decon is a problem as well. So to negate that, he jumps onto the site, the silo shields him from decon, someone opens the door, he just shuts it back, only to open it again and shoot him in the face. Look at this. Fantastic work from X7.
He knows that if he just buys time here, like, he doesn't have to go straight for duels, but if someone is straight in front of him, of course he's going to take the duel, but he has to buy time, get that one frag, buy time, and that's exactly what he's doing. Also rotates straight to the shade position, just holds it down as long as he can, and 4-4 now. ENCE are back in the game.
What a comeback. I mean, obviously it's early days, but OpTic had a very strong start to this map, broke ENCE after just one buy round, and now ENCE are, well, maybe not in the driving seat, but they're signing up for their license.
That's a good nade onto Nico. Flashbang onto X7, puts down the Molotov, rotates downstairs, trying to hold the angle, but will be forced away, and that's the correct choice. Just rotate and see how many you can get. 1 for 1. Still decent, still possible.
This Orb's still here as well. Oh, he spots across, but he can't finish off the frag. Nico's down to 18 points of health, climbing on the catwalk. That decon door gets open, and Config does catch it out. Alu scopes out, back in, is going to miss a shot, tries to reposition, but the timing is so unfortunate. And in the meantime, his entire team are getting picked apart. OpTic in a 4-on-2. Aerial's got to try and save the day because they know exactly where both these CTs are. Aerial can't win the duel as Cajun gets aggressive, and 1 HP left on the man himself leaves Alu in the hot seat, but he wants to keep it as cold as can be. He'll sneak out of this round and go for the save of the AWP.
Nice little comeback round from OpTic. As you said, Alu will save the AWP, but the buy around it next round, if they're going to go for it, is not going to be very good. So probably just going to be the eco. Not expecting much out of this. Alu potentially also wanting to save the AWP this next coming round because he's only on 1500. So that means if he dies, he's not going to be able to get anything more than a FAMAS and 2 flashes, or a FAMAS and a smoke.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what ENCE decide to do in terms of the buy here, right? Like, do they throw their money into it and see what they can get, or just wait for that second loss bonus? Yeah, with $2,000, not even worth it, really. Problem is, as you said, Alu can't get that AWP.
Alu has to survive.
Yeah, pretty key, or someone at least has to survive with this weapon.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, not a good start. Wallbang come through. They're ready for this position. Cajun B, great read and great spam. Takes down Alu nice and early on. Now, obviously, that AWP can be passed over to everyone on the team, but you do definitely want your AWP on that. Unfortunately, he is no longer alive. Yeah, and with this B site being taken, we might just see the save.
Such a nice read as well, because he knows, okay, yes, they have one AWP. Where is he most likely to be? The same position as I would take as a CT. Just spam that door. And that's the right call. LXCB are trying to save that AWP, as we talked about. Can they bring it into the next round? They got a full buy then.
Yeah, it's almost lucky that ENCE didn't get A-rushed there, because if they did, they would have lost that AWP for good. No way that would have been taken into the next round, so this is fine. I mean, full eco, it's kind of just a round where you just forget about it, move on. As long as you bring into the next round this big cannon. And Yugi's not really been donning the AWP as of late in these last couple of rounds. Now, obviously, money has definitely played a factor in that decision, but with OpTic going for these very quick burst plays down towards B, there's no real necessity for the AWP.
And that's usually how they play the T side of Nuke. When we rotate over and they switch to the CT, we're going to see Yugi on the AWP way more. It's very hard for him to utilize it unless they have a specific setup where he can, for example, if they explode the door and he can hold the door angle towards main, or if they want to go outside and he wants to take a long strafe angle, or maybe want to aim towards the windows or towards heaven. And that's a nice spam for Cajun B. That is just a nice spam.
The worst part about that is someone spammed, tagged Alu down to 40, stopped spamming, and then Cajun went back in and finished the job. I mean, it was him the entire time, but he took a break, so Alu was like, oh, I'm safe.
And technically, you can spam that AWP angle from both the hot and the door, so it could have been from 2 different positions as well.
Oh, they bypass Aerial. Surely he heard that. Surely he knows. They're going again for this quick B execute where they split in through the B site and also have 2 players outside that are a bit of a nuisance. They can climb into heaven here. Last time it was the CTs pushing back into the yard that was the problem. Oh, Snappy, his legs get spotted. Next element to try and cut them off, but he only does damage. Oh, 7 HP the difference. That nade might finish the job. And the X7 at least keeps us in the advantage for ENCE by 2.
Config is still alive though, and he's had a pretty okay game so far. Getting a lot of frags, but also dying a lot. Usually the style of him. Very flamboyant, very aggressive. And now grouping up with Yugi, the 2 stars of this team. 2v3. You would have no one else in these clutch situations than Yugi and Config.
That vent rotate is going to be a nightmare as well to deal with. If Sergey can draw the attention, if Alexa gets back into position, and as he can jump straight up, but Sergey, he needs no help. 2 kills at the back of the site here. He was having a slow start to this game, but that may have reinvigorated him. 6-5 here. OpTic still holding on to a lead, and still plenty of money for a buy, but ENCE are not giving away this one easily.
Yeah, and the thing is, with this best of 3, right, is that both teams can like play each other's maps. Like, OpTic are not bad on Train either, and Train is that second pick of ENCE. So I could easily see this, even though it's usually pretty unlikely, like statistically, that you don't win your own map pick. We do see it from time and time again. I could see ENCE winning Nuke and OpTic winning Train. That's not a problem in my mind.
Config, he doesn't want to let that come through. He's already found Aerial down in the secret, so man, advantage early on for OpTic. They've got the vent split as well. There's been such a nuisance from cajunb, and again he fires a bullet into the head of Alexa.
He's so good at like abusing that vent position.
Yeah, clearly. They've got to be sighted with that, really. They've got the round. There's nothing X7 can do except die.
They're going to save their weapons here. There's no real use. And Alu dies, and Sergey might also die here. It's a perfect round for OpTic. They completely destroy the economy. It's going to be the buy anyways, because Alu has 4K, so he can still get the AWP. And one player's on 1450, so it's going to be one player on maybe UMP utility or pistol for utility. I'm not exactly sure how much the loss bonus is at this point.
I mean, it was a reset. ENCE won that one round up prior to OpTic winning 2.
Like, this is going to be the eco, but the next buy after.
It's never fun. We've had already a few of these rounds from ENCE. This is, I think, the 3rd full eco. Obviously, the 2nd round being one of those, but
the question is, like, Sergey with 1400 and only, what, 1 round, 2 round loss bonus?
Yeah.
That's not going to be a lot for him, so he's going to be on a UMP.
It's a double eco, I think.
Really? Like, the rest of the team can buy. Alu can get an AWP. I would say either go UMP 2 flashes or C-set full utility.
I didn't see Alu's money, but you're probably right there. That would make a lot more sense.
Smokes outside as per usual. XCB spots into the door. Don't see any aggression. And they're just spraying them down.
Same thing as last time. I mean, we saw that lobby crunch from ENCE not working out in the previous. Try it again. Why not? Kind of pushing outside with pistols is pretty old now. Most people expect that. We saw that win earlier in the previous game, but it's pretty rare that you find anything on a pistol round like that anyway.
Yeah, that is true.
Such limitations. And now it is the interesting decision that ENCE have to make. They will decide to buy after all. You are correct, Niels. And no kit to play with is a slight issue.
Sergey's going to go MP5 and utility, which is just enough to get smoke, nade, and flash with head armor. So I guess that's a fine choice. He wanted to go for more utility, but Aerial is super flashy. But Alexa is ready with the help. They have 2 men stacked in main, but Snappy's there with the refrag.
Because he was flashy, only saw 1 player pass, and when that kill came in from Alexa, they assumed that that was the player that dropped first, but instead there were 2. ENCE, however, they're winning all their duels around the map. Unfortunately for them, Yugi's down on ramp, and he's making a bit of a mission to turn the tide. A 2-on-3, as Yugi keeps pushing down towards B. Alu is holding the cross with the AWP, so they're going to have a tough time of getting out unless they smoke or molly this position, and actually Alu misses a shot just through the window. He's still waiting for the repeat from Yugi, but a Molotov's going to take him forward. He goes ahead of it. Yugi almost gets his head cut clean off, and Sergey's begun to rotate right down, but Alu caught in the window after all. It's a 2-on-2, and Yugi just gets that plant in, but it's cajunb, the clutch king at the back of the site. He doesn't know exactly where Sergey is, but the read is perfect.
It's planted in his home yard, the B bomb site. Cajun.
Oh, he didn't see him.
He's making the play, Hugo. He's making the play. There is no kit on Sergey.
And he's already on that bomb. He's trying to stick it. There's no way Cajun will make this mistake that Yugi did earlier. 3 kills on him. Wins that clutch. Very, very difficult round for Sergey to come into that late and actually find
I just
anything.
have one question, Hugo.
Yeah.
When I say Cajun, what do you say?
B.
Obviously.
Yeah, he's playing great.
He's the king of this bomb site.
I mean, his vent dives has just been so annoying anyway, so you kind of expect that he knows his way around.
Yeah, and to be honest, like, Config is playing well. Yes, he's taking a lot of unnecessary duels, but that's Config in a nutshell. Yugi's playing really well. Well reserved on the T side, actually really getting into the groove with the AK as well. Not something we see a lot. cajunb is 11-7, really good at utilizing the map control that he gets. The 3 star players are playing nice. Nico is stepping up as well. Snappy, no real need for him to get a lot of frags because he's kind of controlling them on the T side. It gets way easier for him to get frags on the CT side where he can make more plays. OpTic are looking as they should look right now.
Yeah.
Like, this is what Pimp and me and all the other Danish guys are talking about. This is what OpTic can do.
Wow, Alu, whatever they can do, he can do too. He's going to get 2 with the UMP, but eventually finished off by the AW. Sergey on the flank, he draws a lot of attention, but unfortunately, because of the range of this weapon, Aerial can't take that duel. Eventually, they walk out into the open, so he's going to get himself 1, but the second not expected, and that is a mistake to make. OpTic, 10 rounds on the half. Very dominant T-side. Risk, as you said earlier, ENCE, they are a strong T-sided team on this map, so we have to remember that as we head into half number 2.
That is true. And it's also a very structured team. Something that with the coach they brought in and with the general idea that is also brought in by, of course, Nato and all the guys in that organization, want to play some good, beautiful, structured CS. But hopefully, look at the coach. We saw his notebook there. We couldn't see what was written, but there was definitely plenty of notes. So surely they have something written down to counter whatever ENCE have to throw against them, unless they found something new out. Maybe they've prepared some specific stuff for this map. Maybe they're a bit ready into, like, OpTic probably going to pick Nuke.
One of the worrying factors is that no one is really shining through for ENCE right now.
Nope.
Obviously, Sergey, one of the stars of this team, bottom of the board, 4 kills right now, bottom. That's not what you want for, you know, arguably one of the better players.
37.5 ADR for Sergey. That's, like, weird. Like, I don't even understand that. Usually, like, the lowest ADR I've ever seen him with in general is like 60. And that's a bad game for him.
Well, we need someone to step up here for ENCE into the second half. We need a bit of a light at the end of this tunnel, because otherwise OpTic are going to be training them home. Sergey, fast A play. He's down the, well, yeah, he's down the vents. His body is, at least. His dead, lifeless corpse as Config takes the head off, and he's not done with one. He's hungry for more. Won't be able to find it. Does hide on the ladder to try and block anyone moving forward. You can see he's got his knife out as well. Config ready to bring in some dirty tactics here.
He just communicated, like, I'm in the vent, I got my knife, I'm gonna block them, you guys can take your drills, it's okay. Ooh. Good damage being done though. But answer back from KGB on the ramp, Snappy's rotated downstairs after being dinked. 9 HP on him, leaves secret open, LXCB. Vent is now open for business, at least the first part of it. But Alexi's just walking into the bomb site.
Yeah, he's got to watch that heaven ramp though. Cajun's moving up into position, and oh, he's gone below him. LXCB not going to be able to find the finishing blow, but he does get the information, and as a result, he can call for his team to come A. There's the chance, but he whiffs it, and that's a big whiff as well. While Alu has made this a 3-on-3, that one frag could have made this a reality, and it has happened. Both players left up for OpTic very, very low, and Alu's holding any kind of outside wrap as well. This means they can just focus on the heaven and the lobby, as well as events, so quite a lot to cover here, but they've got the manpower to do it. X7 waiting for that contact in heaven. LXCB still playing the bottom of the site below. And Yugi, he just doesn't want to strafe out wide. He doesn't want to give himself any chance of going down easily. He wants to try and find an overextending ENCE player, but unfortunately for him, not getting the opportunity. And they're just going to save the armor. Probably the wise call to make. A bit of an unrealistic round to win. And OpTic, maybe with them saving the armor and having a pretty significant lead, we could be seeing that second round force.
Let's wait and see here what they're going to go for. They could go for the scout buy. That's something that I know Yugi would absolutely love. And maybe get Config, potentially even Nico on a Desert Eagle. There's the potential for a good round here for OpTic.
I'm excited to see what they pull into it, because obviously this is ENCE's chance now to get back into the game. A pistol round and already a known strong T side on this map.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to invest into it. It's going to be the buy next round.
That's fine. I mean, the only issue with that is it means Yugi is not going to have the AWP into the first buy, but that being said, ENCE probably won't either. If they're clean in this one, they're just going to run bonus, so we'll see. Depends on the damage OpTic pull into this round. We've got Yard under the control of ENCE. They've already taken it, and now the smokes will start to go down, at least one to cut off main. Now this definitely, without Garage, can be an issue with OpTic, because they have no idea where ENCE are. Luckily enough, Cajun is somewhat in position, but he's going to let them pass down towards B. He doesn't want to take that fight.
Yeah, like, there's no reason for him to take like a mid to long range fight with a USP against what potentially could be an AK. So he's just calling, I've sold this area. You guys have to be aware of this. And Snappy's holding the ramp if the splits should come in. So they got like the best setup they can have in this situation, but it's such a bad situation in general. Like P250 is the best weapon they have. If they can get 1 or 2 kills out of this, they'll be happy on OpTic.
Well, 2 down on ramp is something good to say. At least Snappy finds 1. His teammate's already been decapitated, and Alexa B, he's up for heads. Finding 2 frags down on the ramp opens up that B bomb site. And yeah, okay, OpTic may have been ready for it, but it's not going to be able to stop these oncoming tide of Finns. B is there as Aerial just misses the timing to Cajun B, but he is going to be able to catch out Nico, who's also coming in from the back. Alu, oh, he checks it, nothing there. Looking back for more, spray continued, and he finds 2. Got to watch his back line as Cajun B tries to strike from behind, but the trade is already there for ENCE to keep this round as theirs.
But still, 2 frags.
Yeah, decent Nico.
The sad thing is that it wasn't a full AK buy, so it's not like they're denying straight AKs. They can still get, I think, 2 AKs and a UMP into the next round. But this is the buy now coming in from OpTic. And as you said, they don't have enough money to get an AWP on Yuki, I think. So he's going to be on the AUG. Same as Snappy. Let's see how it's going to play around this.
Look at the speed outside as well. 2 players going immediately into the yard. 1 man dropping vent as well. That's not the bomb, but there's still a player down behind enemy lines. And Cajun, he's got to watch out for these players that are crossing outside. He does catch Alu in the meantime. That's going to help. He's also here, but not scoped in time means Aerial wins that battle. Now down to a 4-on-4 with still this B control under the hands of ENCE.
Config just holding the angle, saying, okay, yes, we're going to give them secret, but they cannot cross and take control towards heaven and windows. Just hold that angle, make sure they can't go any further. But the spend control here from Alexa B could prove very important.
It's almost like they want to jump back up into the A bomb site potentially, with him hanging around for so long.
Config's now risking it, going outside, taking this chance, taking this duel, but Aerial's completely ready for it. And he's ready for a second player as well outside. And there is a second player here, it's just, he might even get this. Oh, Aerial, he read that like a book.
Just like that, the A site is looking even more tantalizing. So Sergey opens up towards it. Nico gets caught out. And Snappy, who rotated earlier because of Alexa B's vent dive, is now on the wrong side of the map. Or, well, not the wrong side of the map, but the wrong level. He's down 2 floors.
It's not something we say a lot in Counter-Strike. Yeah. Usually it's all flat and horizontal, but on Nuke it gets vertical.
Yeah, and it's getting a bit difficult as well for OpTic, with ENCE now starting to find their groove on this terrorist half. This is going to be an 8th round, a 3rd in a row. So it was 10-5 for OpTic after the first. So yet to find success, but that's fine. Got a couple more buy rounds before ENCE are going to be back in the lead, so...
Snappy. We'll survive for now. I don't think they're going to commit anymore to hunting him. Yeah, Aerial, he had the idea that he could go ramp and try to secure the kill, but with only 3 players alive, they can't really afford it. Their economy, yes, it's growing to plus 5k on average, but they don't want to like risk anything just yet. This is still like early days, they're still behind. You don't want to throw away any advantage you have money-wise. So survive with 3 players, even though, yes, they get the AUG into the next round, most importantly is your own play. This is going to be obviously the full save apart from the AUG, so you see probably a standard quick rush outside, not really going to show much of their strat book in this one, and just hold for the anti-eco, hold for the push. If the push doesn't come, quick rush somewhere, take mid-range duels, and hopefully for all the Finnish fans out there, an easy round for them.
Yeah, you'd like to think this would be easy for ENCE indeed, but I will hold my tongue until I see Snappy. He's going to rotate right. He's in the yard, and that's where the majority of the team are as well, trying to fight this position, but really already removed. Yeah, good utility usage from ENCE. Not going to be a problem. With that gone, even if someone picks it up, it's armorless. It's not a problem. Cajun B's found the weapon, but... ooh, hello. Nico's got a good position. If Alu even wins this fight, he's being baited into the push, but oh my god, Alu, he's just cleaning up kills left, right, and center. Finally, Config hits a deep shot, but it's going to be a small consolation in an otherwise dire round for OpTic, 2v4.
One thing that we can note as well, that's... oh, wait. Wait a second. Nico picks up 1. Gets a gun as well. Hold that thought for now. Config very close to hitting that deagle shot, but they know that the only way that Nico can get up right now in that position is through the stair or up the staircase, or the ladder even. He's going to have to save this one. There's no reason to go in and with 1 HP, try to take a duel. If he can survive here, he will.
For now, let's see, because he spotted ahead.
He's holding a cheeky angle.
That's a goblin angle right there. There's no, yeah. He's hiding in his hidey hole.
I've never heard that expression before.
Don't go near my forklift. He's out in the construction yard looking to dig some graves. Oh, he forgot his shovel. That's going to be 9 for ENCE.
My point was that what we saw from ENCE was actually that a lot of the players, because they know they're up against an eco, they're playing anti-eco, which also means that they're not revealing or using any of their smokes. Basically, when you're playing up against an eco and you have full buy, you can just flash your way in because you already have the advantage with the direct duel, so you don't need to use your smokes. Very, very nice. Such a small thing, such a small save in money. But it's all those small things if you combine them, add them together.
On top of that as well, if you go for smokes, pistols can easily push through that and be a problem.
Exactly.
But for this round, ENCE, look at the pace, or at least look at X7. He's right down B. I like how they do this off of spawn. It's not necessarily one player always doing this, like how Cajun did on the T side. It's whoever has the best spawn for this vent dive goes for it. Oh, the timing! That's awkward. X7.
And
even on
the CT side, Cajun around the vents.
He just loves that B side. It's in his name, it's in his blood.
Definitely. Sergey still hasn't found success on this map. And I feel like that's one of the factors, like if they add Sergey into the mix right now, like it's a tied game almost. If they add Sergey stepping up into the mix, I think ENCE could take this map, but we haven't seen him yet. And so far, if he doesn't step up to the plate, this is going to be very, very close.
And this is a key round as well, because ENCE, they've been flawless this half so far, all 4 rounds going their way. If OpTic finally pick up one, maybe they could shut this down before it really begins.
Good smoke in the beginning.
Yugi's going to be up to get it.
That's the problem. LXCB, not exactly sure where he was on the map. Probably another place, but the smoke, no position for him to smoke that early smoke. That means that Yugi has a free range shot, and the triple lock setup claim another kill as Nico grabs one. Technically, it's first kill. Could have gotten more. And will get more. That gun is ridiculous.
Yeah. Cajun's in a great spot as well, considering he's low. He's not exactly contesting the B site too heavily. He's not trying to stop secret presence, but he is in a one and done spot, and that's exactly what he'll get. One, and he's done. Sergey left for the clutch, 6 seconds left up, and Snappy's already on the hunt. He knows there was no time for the bomb plant there, so he had to take the fight. And just like that, it's OpTic taking back victory. Their first round on the CT side could be the start of something at least going their way. However, that being said, ENCE still have money risk, so resets on the cards here.
It's possible for sure. And with the Mach 10 on X7, we could potentially see a quick indoor rush. Maybe explosion timing. LXCB trying to get into a good angle here, flash misses. LXCB will actually lose some HP to this, and Config will hold it down. They're gonna split inside now. Yugi missed the shot, but Config is there. Cajun beat down the vent.
Ooh, makes up for it. Fake flash not going to work. Config still ready on the angle. Sergey does find a key entry. Sergey coming back to life. Exactly what we said was needed, and it will open up the A bomb site. No one left here for OpTic. We do have the yard still under their control. There's actually still one more man inside. It's Cajun. He's making it work. It looked great for ENCE for just a modicum of a moment, but now it's Sergey left to find the ace. He's on 3 with all the time in the world, but the bomb not at his feet. It's in the middle of the site. Yugi and Snappy still left alive. Yugi's tagged up, however. This is certainly doable for Sergey. It's going to require some real heroics.
Which is ironic because Yugi and Snappy come straight from heroic.
That was somewhat a joke.
I killed him, I'm sorry.
It's just clearing out. Yugi's already on the hunt, though. So if Sergey does want to win this round, he's got to go ahead of it. He's got to move quick. So Snappy, rather, already on the angle, already prepared. It is going to be the round to OpTic. That got very, very scary.
No heroics this time around.
No. That was a
That's
while
like
ago.
an opposite Christmas present. I just took something away from you. But yeah, that's the thing, right? Yes, we wanted Sergey to come back into the game, but the rest of the team needs to be there as well. He needs to be an addition to something else. He cannot just grab like 3 frags of his own and then it's going to be a close game. Communication here in ENCE. Not exactly sure if it's a timeout or if it's just a freeze time. But the coach coming in with a few bits and pieces. It is a tactical timeout. And ENCE will just have a few seconds to talk about what has gone wrong in these last couple of rounds, what we could do better. Sergey now being added into the mix, there's definitely a possibility of going in and trading your way into a bomb site now that he feels warmed up. And that's also something you can as an in-game leader. You can kind of feel out where your players are. Like, are they ready? Are they warm for like going for a duel-based strategy? And maybe now Sergey feels that way. So when we see the buy next round, there might be 5 AKs straight for that A push.
Ooh, yeah. ENCE have done this almost every round this T side. I think OpTic are finally working it out. They're not letting these vent splits continue to be a problem for them. Dealing with it very well. Yuki also cuts down aerial outside, so yes, okay, ENCE do get in secret, but getting there is half the battle. Config is the other half, and he's only going to get 1. That's an AK given over. Armor on Alu as well, but close window position. He doesn't spot it. Someone's got to call it for him. Alu needs to get this kill right now, but he's going to fall short. Only X7 with a pistol, and a little bit too much to ask for. Another 1 frag, but it won't be enough. That could have been a winnable round there for ENCE.
I think they're going to go for the quick inside play now. The question is if it's going to be an explosion, which with potentially flashbangs with the windows up top, or maybe the Molo on hot, or it's going to be straight on spawn based. That either one of those is a good choice in my opinion right now, but they need to add some pace to it, trade their way into the bomb site. They got 5 AKs, it's definitely possible.
It's a bit slower, at least towards Squeaky this time. They finally realized that maybe the event dive is not a good option. And it's been mollied every round that OpTic have had the utility in the incendiaries. Occasion with a great angle to catch an outside player, but those smokes are going to cut it off. So Yugi, he needs to go big, but there's only 1 player here to stop him, and he will not stop Yugi.
So I think the theory here is to get 1 into that vent position, and that opens up the whole round. Then you can go for mid-round call to either go downstairs or go into vent and then go for the upstairs split. Now X7 has found 1. That's toward the ramp. They now have ramp control. Here's when the mid-round call needs to come in for the T side. What are we going to do? This is what we have at our disposal. What's the correct answer?
Control as hell is the game plan for now. 3 Molotovs, 1 smoke. Not exactly the best of situations for ENCE, but they have the map control at least, and they've kept OpTic back.
Going to go back.
Not going to try and keep the ramp. They'll go back towards A, and oh dear, look at this setup. OpTic have 2 players committed within the bomb site.
They're ready for this.
Very strong setup. ENCE, they may have the flashbangs to get themselves in, but they don't know the positions that OpTic currently hold.
This position from Config is so good.
That being said, 3 Molotovs. It's just coming down to whether ENCE realize it. 30 seconds, and they don't have time to mess around.
They're waiting for Alu to go main, and then they're going to explode inside. The question is, how many frags are Config going to get? 2 and then rotate away? Oh, he's going to peek aggressively. That might be a mistake. They should Molo it out now, but he's going for the duel. He's going for the frags, and only going to get 1. Cage and B, though.
Yeah, it's only 10 seconds. They need to go. Cage is still here. Cage is still being a problem, and they're going to try and get this bomb plant in, surely, but Cage could just deny it through the wall. He beats that wide. Alu defends it. Definitely a missed opportunity there from Cajun, but maybe expecting a closer player. Yugi now left up with the clutch. He may have got the opening kill this round, but he's got a 1v2 to close it out, and they're both at the back of the site. They're both ready and waiting side by side. Yugi has no idea just yet. He's creeping. He's crawling. He's got nades, but they've got the double peek. ENCE find it. 10 rounds here on the T side. It eventually happens. It was a few in a row for OpTic, but it'll eventually stop.
Nice mid-round call there. And also, yeah, I'm not sure if it's one of those plays like the play that Config makes. If he gets 2 kills and rotates away, that's genius. But when he only gets 1 for 1 and loses map control in a really, really good position, I don't know. I just feel like the position,
very Config play.
Yeah, exactly. The position he has is so good, but now they're gonna go for another vent dive. LXCB straight down.
Yeah, they've broken the money, funnily enough. OpTic won 3 rounds in a row, but ENCE finally pick up 1 T-side round, and now OpTic are on eco. So there's no incendiaries to stop that vent dive this time. LXCB's given that B control, and even if he doesn't get kills here, just him being in this B site, it's such a problem for OpTic. They've got to dedicate players to dealing with it, and that gives more room for more players to move up and take down, and walk down this B site. They've taken the yard, they pushed it through secret, LXCB, X7, everyone chiming in. It is just a clean-up crew. Just that 1 UMP left up on Snappy, and frankly, this is looking as done as can be. ENCE up to 11 rounds after this. And flawless as well, which is very important to actually having a good money situation, because if OpTic win the next buy round and ENCE didn't take a clean one here, they could have been reset onto 14 rounds.
Snappy in this situation is staying around because they have plenty of money to buy next round. As much damage as you can do here is basically the play. There's no real reason to save a UMP. So let's see what he can do. Just dancing around, but they're going to rotate away from him.
And the player chasing only had a UMP anyway, so it's not like Snappy can get that upgrade. It's the same weapon.
Yeah. So the question is now, like, are they going to throw that UMP over to Nico to really go for the money play, or are they just going to throw it away?
Tough decisions, but this is still an OpTic's control for now. They shouldn't be too nervous.
Well, they have the buy coming in now.
Cage has been great on opening kills this game. He is 6-2 in those opening duels. Very, very key to actually be finding them for OpTic. It's opened up a lot of rounds, especially on that first half where they got 10. Cajun was always finding picks on that B-bomb spike. For now, the AWP is back in the hands of Yugi. Snappy holds on to the UMP, taking a hit for the team. Aerial, fast dropping, will be hurt by that AWP outside, but Nico, he's ready for it. Only ready for one, however. The AWP missing the shot, and Sergey's also found an entry while X7 doubles down. The swivel will not work out, but the dive up then will from Cajun. He drops one more. Unfortunately, that leaves it to just one. Snappy in a 1v2.
He's upgraded, but only on 39 HP. AK-47 in hand, and Alu will shut it down. Very nice round from ENCE. Quick pace. Destroying OpTic.
Yeah, especially when they know that obviously OpTic have just been mulling over exactly what ENCE are going to be doing in that previous eco. Finally comes to the buy, and ENCE don't give OpTic even a second to think. They just charge at a bomb site. Interesting note, while it didn't make too much of a difference, instead of going for the typical Molotovs towards door that they didn't have, they put Cajun down in B, and as he rotated up at the vent, that, you know, he was in the vent the entire round. That meant that if we had a drop in from Alexi B or X7, for example, Cajun would have been there to shut it down.
Straight to Kerr.
So OpTic still switching things up, despite maybe not having the incendiaries to stop the fast play. They put players in positions to deal with the tendencies of ENCE.
The first pause is taken by OpTic, and it's also where, like, it really comes down to the buy. They're pressured right now. Feel the need to take a pause just to get everything under control on the CT side. This is obviously not going to be the round, but next round, that's where all these small little plays that I've just been talking about, they come into play.
Ooh, heavy outside. We've got 3 players here, already starting to back off a little bit, but they have the Eagles on some of them, so range isn't going to be the biggest issue. However, Ed's very well armed. Aerial's already working his way down towards Secret. He gets shot from behind. That means Alu is now ready for these peaks. And 2 players already separately spotted, gives information to ENCE. They probably might just try and take these fights, because if they can get rid of a couple of early players and not have to push into what could be a stacked B bomb site, that would be a problem. But 7 already from above, getting 1. Alexa B chiming in to try and do some damage, but it's actually Yugi to go down after Config gets a single kill from that main position. He might be able to get a little bit more. P250 is so dangerous, but Alu, he's going to be a little more dangerous.
He is a dangerous man. 2 pistols remaining and armor on Nico. Surely not round changing at this point, but potentially 1 or 2 AKs taken away from ENCE. That would be the wish list right now, to take 2 AKs away, make sure the economy doesn't go to crazy obscene amounts. Ooh, don't get the first one, and now it's all on Nico.
Yeah, 5.7, not really the best gun for range.
Definitely not.
Luckily, Nico's close in the A site. They might not check this. He's pushed into the hut. He's got to be aware that they are wrapping him, and all turned around was Sergey, but he flicks right back in time.
Sergey's getting back into it. Like, he had a terrible start to this game, but in these last 5 rounds, he's actually been quite decent.
Yeah, still never won an opening duel, but that's not what we really know Sergey for anyway. He's at least coming back into his own. Yep, sitting on 13 kills right now. Still bottom of the board, considering he had 5 after the first half. This is definitely a resurgence, you're right.
Nice. Yeah, nice to see so many people coming out as well. Like, it's been a couple of DreamHacks in another hall, but now we're back where CS is supposed to be on top level, and so are OpTic.
It just seems like ENCE cannot take the lead here. Every time they equal up the scoreline, OpTic pull out an absolute blinder of a round. ENCE have not once had more rounds than OpTic this game. I don't think this one's going to be any different, even with Sergey putting up a frag. His teammates are all dead. He's got to go huge. Second angle predicted.
He's so good.
8 HP, I mean, 1 wallbang and he's done and dusted.
It's not enough, and it's not going to be enough, but the level on this kid is insane. And even though, like, he's in elimination game. He has a terrible start. Somehow, some way, he still manages to bring himself back during like the game. It's not he needs like a break to go outside and have some fresh air or something. It's like in the middle while he's playing, he picks himself up. Very strong mental attitude in this youngster. Sergey might have been shadow spotted there, but he definitely heard the fire. Oh, config is on point. 14-13.
Yeah, it looked like he had the angle there for a second. Yep. Config, I assumed, was looking the wrong way, but no, gets away with it. Does shut it down for OpTic. Nice to not see anyone hunting down that final kill. Just do not give Sergey the opportunity to 1v5. Just not what you want to do.
Definitely not.
He can really win those clutches, but for now, we're going to need more than that for ENCE, as they're down up against 14. This has definitely been a back and forth affair, a close game, as the Des predicted. That Molotov outside will stop any outside smokes for ENCE. It will make them bloom early, which leaves gaps. But ENCE aren't going for the cross smokes, at least not for now.
This is a very important round. ENCE will be able to buy if they lose this. It's not going to be the best buy in the world. They're not going to be able to get an AWP onto Elo unless Sergey drops something over. So this is where they need to make their stand. OpTic on the other side of things, already now spending a lot of their utility. Only 2 smokes left at 120, and Snappy goes down on the ramp. cajunB's rotating down towards the lower bomb site. Aerial, slow and surely, making his way through Secret. This is going to be the B split, but cajunB's ready.
Oh, he's got the cross. He's got 2 bullets to the head of 1. Finds a second. cajunB is mopping up these ENCE players on the B bomb site once again. He has just been the bastion of hope here for OpTic. And he's not done just yet. Nico coming in with a clean-up kill, and the bomb does go down for ENCE, but they're still a man disadvantaged. Alu's up with the AWP on ramp. He can try and watch the cross, but aleXiB has so many angles to worry about. Alu needs to win this duel, and cajunB forces out a fight. Nade going in, smoke to cut it off, but that forces a pick from aleXiB. All the information in the hands of OpTic. They can go charging into the bomb site. Alu does trade 1, but he's alone, and that's not going to be happening. OpTic find 15 here on their map pick. Every time ENCE get close, OpTic just go 1 step ahead. Now 2 rounds in the lead, and ENCE maybe not strong enough for Nuke.
And this is the picture that we expected to see between these two teams. Like very high level, such a close game individually, very closely matched as well. OpTic a tight, slight bit stronger here, but this is their map choice, so it's kind of expected. Potentially the same picture we're going to see, but switched around when we go to train and then just do the decider. They have a chance of going all the way to map 3, but aleXiB spammed down to 63.
Favor return though. Cajun gets hit to 8. Luckily enough, Yugi wins another fight outside. He's not really been challenged too much with his AWP. We've not seen Alu on the T side. And while Alu is top of his team, he is no longer for this world. It's actually just frags coming in left and right for OpTic. They're pushing up. They're just looking to close out this game here and now, taking control towards ramp. And it's going to be left to aleXiB alone in this bomb site. That plant can come in. The Heaven Wrap will not be fast enough because aleXiB planted on the other side, but the Molotov will make him move. He's got to pick a position. This corner will be it. The smoke to try and cut off main. This gives aleXiB a little more freedom of movement, and he might have spotted that head. He might know that player's out, but he's not going to be ready for it. Snappy finds the frag, and OpTic find the map. 16-13. The Danes do dominate their way forward. And while it was a close affair from ENCE, close is not enough. We're heading to train.
Denmark still stands. Nuke as the bastion and cajunB as the dominator on that lower bomb site. Absolutely insane play from him, time and time again, with the M4, but mostly with the AWP. And he's looking very, very hot, and so are like the rest of OpTic. Very nicely done. Everyone's stepping up. We saw all the usual suspects, the guy we expect to do well on this team. They're doing exactly well. They need to step up. They've done it so far. Can they continue? That's the question.
I mean, it's looking great for them. I wouldn't count them out of winning this game. I mean, Train is obviously a map that both these teams are going to be able to play. That being said, I predicted the 3 map at the start. I'm going to stick with it. I think ENCE can bounce back from this loss, but it's definitely looking like a better OpTic than we saw on day number 1, losing to Bravado on Dust 2, if we remember that.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
If we head to Dust 2 as a final map, the map that both these teams initially lost earlier yesterday, it's anyone's game, but obviously Train coming up next. What are your expectations?
I think it's going to be ENCE. I'm going to agree with you. I think we're going to go all the way, but we're going to have a small break, then we're going to be back with Train. It's going to be coming up just after this.